again, buenos dias and welcome to my original YouTube channel here at Benidorm and beyond. I produce entertaining, fun and informative vlogs about the fantastic resort of Benidorm where I've lived for well over 20 years now. So please come along and join me on my regular Spanglish adventures. And don't forget to leave me a comment, like or emoji, or to just simply share this vlog or subscribe to the channel to help spread the word about Benidorm and beyond and get more upbeat vlogs about this beautiful tourist city out there in the world. Today's vlog concentrates on the Tapas Alley area of Benidorm, which is situated in the Old Town and just a couple of streets inland from the beautiful Levante beachfront. Known to the Spanish as La Zona de los Bascos, meaning the zone of the Basques, today I'm going to tell you about the special relationship that the Basque people from the north of Spain have with Benidorm, including a little history too. So, as well as the thousands of international holidaymakers that visit our resort every year, including British, Irish, Dutch and Germans among many other nationalities, did you know that Benidorm is an emblematic holiday destination for many Spaniards too, including the Basques? Their affinity with the city, which began in the 1950s, was reinforced by town hall promotions in the 60s, which I will tell you about shortly, with the most iconic alleyway being that of Calle Santo Domingo, popularly known as the Street of the Basques, and with all those other winding streets around and off it, leading in different directions, full of tempting tapas bars and restaurants where you can stop for a refreshing drink and a bite to eat by day or night. It's not known for certain how many Basques come to our resort each year, but it is known that thousands choose Benidorm annually as their holiday destination, keeping alive a tradition that dates back to the beginnings of tourism in our coastal city. This special connection began to form back in the 50s when Benidorm's first hotel, the Hotel Bilbaíno, right on the seafront promenade, opened its doors, which was founded by a native of the city of Bilbao. Then, in 1964, came the Operación BB, or the BB operation, which stood for Bilbao to Benidorm. This ingenious promo was thought up by Pedro Zaragoza, who was Mayor of Benidorm between 1950 and 1967 and considered a great visionary in his time, as he recognised the enormous potential of future tourism when nothing similar existed really in Europe, other than maybe the German spa town of Baden-Baden, which was a destination aimed more at the elite rather than the general public. There are countless stories and anecdotes about Mayor Zaragoza, but two of the most well known are firstly that he defined the city's urban planning based on skyscrapers by placing a packet of tobacco vertically on a map, while secondly he sanctioned the controversial decision to allow the wearing of bikinis in 1953 when the Catholic Church was so against this racy move that it almost cost him excommunication. Pedro Zaragoza was a revolutionary, but also friends with the fascist dictator General Franco, who ruled the country at the time, meaning that every time Zaragoza clashed with a local authority, whether this be the civil governor of Alicante or the clergy, the mayor wrote an urgent telegram to Franco, or even got on his Vespa and drove 8 hours to his palace in Madrid to ask for his help to settle any problem. Unbelievably, it's said that without Franco there would have been no Benidorm, as he visited Benidorm with his family several times and enjoyed its charms a great deal, as we all do today ourselves. So returning to our theme, in the 1960s, the pioneering mayor understood that a good part of Benidorm's tourism had to be national. In addition to the large advertising campaigns that he had carried out in the cities of Madrid and our nearby Valencia, the mayor also turned his attention to the Basques, who were established as regular visitors, but whose presence as tourists was not growing in any real way. Therefore, he designed the BB operation, which was a honeymoon trip for newly married couples from Bilbao. With the collaboration of the Bilbao City Council and the Vizcaína Savings Bank, it saw some 150 couples invited to spend 12 days here in our beloved Benidorm. On May 2nd, 1964, several buses left for the coast, stopping in Burgos, Madrid and Albacete on their way to Benidorm. When here, the Mayor Zaragoza welcomed them with open arms, fireworks and a lavish dinner that included caviar, something which most of them had never seen, yet alone tasted. For many of them, it was the first time they'd even been in a hotel or indeed left the Basque country. And when they arrived in their hotel rooms overlooking the gorgeous Mediterranean Sea, it's rather poetically said that many Basque babies would have been conceived here, cementing the relationship between the two regions for good. Pedro Zaragoza also invited the couples to various events and gave them discounts for shopping in local stores and supermarkets, and within less than a fortnight he'd achieved the dream of suggesting Benidorm as a perfect vacation spot for a generation of Biscayans, also cleverly winning their support in the future along the way, which came in especially handy in the mid-60s when families from the Valencian right wanted to get Zaragoza out of power to take over, and the Basques rallied round to back the mayor. According to a letter from Iñaki García de la Dehesa, son of one of the couples who took part in Operation BB, some 2.5 decades later in 1989, a hospitality group invited couples to spend a few days in the city to mark the 25th anniversary of the successful trip. Pedro Zaragoza was with them and invited them to eat at his house, where he showed them his lemon trees and cracked open a couple of wine barrels which had been a gift from General Franco himself. This group of couples, in turn, invited Zaragoza back to spend a few days in the Basque country with them, which he accepted. Now, the Tapas Alley, or the Basque Zone to the Spanish, has of course flourished into a fabulous neighbourhood in which to spend an afternoon or evening with customers from all nations welcome. Although many of the bars and businesses are owned by people from the Basque country, as you will see by some of the rather unusual names of the establishments, who fell in love with our fabulous resort and flocked to Benidorm in the decades gone by to set up their own bars and restaurants in the area, bringing their fabulous way of drinking small amounts while grazing on delicious food morsels along with them. On the subject of eating, the Basques specialise in Pinchos, which are essentially what we understand as tapas, but are actually much smaller and only last a mouthful or two. Traditionally, they are served as small pieces of bread topped with various ingredients such as local cheese with figs, ham and fried green peppers, cod croquettes and pieces of tortilla or Spanish omelette, although of course the world is your oyster when topping these bite-sized pieces of bread. The word pincho comes from the verb pinchar, which means to stab or skewer, and the traditional way to serve pinchos is with a toothpick through the middle, which helps not only to hold the ingredients together, but also in many bars acts as a way of counting up how many you've had at the end of the night by the amount of toothpicks left on your plate. And you have to admire the bar owner's capacity to believe customers will be honest about such things and not try to throw the odd one or two away to make the bill cheaper. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's vlog on Benidorm's Tapas Alley area with me, combining a bit of social history along with Basque traditions. And if you have, then please consider becoming a subscriber, as well as checking out some of my many other vlogs, which include lots of detailed street and beachfront walks, tours on lots of Benidorm's most popular hotels with a fly-on-the-wall look inside, reviews on cafes, bars and new businesses, as well as tons of other local info, news and updates. I'll see you out and about next time, and thanks so much for watching as always. And hopefully it'll be you coming to Benidorm to sample some delicious Basque delights very soon. Bye for now, adios, and catch you again next time. Cheers!